Welcome to
Yeah.
the stand. Sit down, whatever. You're behind. Thanks for holding your patience.
Happy Thanksgiving.
We're on episode 250, which is when Gohan breaks the sword made of kachin material. They just made up a word for that. That's cool. And then old Kai emerges from, I guess, the Kai from 15 generations ago. Says there's a terrible villain that sealed him in the sword. Is that like a dub? Like we never find out who that villain is. It's not Boo.
I feel like I'm not even joking when I say this now. I feel like this film will come out in some show or movie later on. Like
Yeah, I feel like
I feel
we've
like
done things
it's
that
like
are more of a stretch. Like that would be an easy one.
sure, but I'm just saying that like I don't think we've had anything. But just like how Daima is tied into the demon stuff, which we got a long time ago with Dragon Ball, and even the new movie was tied to Red Ribbon Army and Cell. I feel like they love now doing callbacks. We will
Yeah.
get that at some point. Whatever villain this is, one day will be a star of the video game or movie, whatever it is. It
And
will
where
be
is this villain? Is he still running around?
yeah,
What I
it's
like, what I like about it, though, I guess
yeah.
symbolically, it is the opposite of what happened to Boo because one of the Kais, the Supreme Kai, put
Uh,
Boo in the shell in the ball, right?
yeah.
And now here's a Kai that a bad guy put in a sword. So this is
Yeah.
like the whole thing that I guess gods and villains are putting each other in weird objects. Although
Yeah.
it's retconned, right? Because now isn't it Beerus the one who put Boo in the ball now or something? I think they retconned Supreme Kai doing it.
Really, for no reason, though, let's be honest. They could have just had the sword broke and a magical orb could have flown around Gohan with a timer, and that would have been the
Yeah.
same thing of what's going to happen. I do
Yeah,
want to
he
point.
doesn't add any information. The only thing he does add is he's like, "Oh, Majin Buu." I heard like he even knows
Yeah.
Buu from 15 generations ago, so that must make it so much scarier. But then that doesn't make sense because I thought Supreme Kai was there when that happened. So also, Toriyama in one of his interviews said Buu is from the beginning of the universe. That's clearly not true because old Kai remembers him, and
Yeah.
Supreme Kai couldn't have been the one that put Boo in the ball if old Kai, who's 15 generations older than Supreme Kai, also knows Boo. Did you notice Goku also blasted Supreme Kai, or no, old Kai in the face, which is
Yeah.
similar to what he does to Krillin when he throws the rock or whatever?
Yeah. 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 I
That's
mean,
like a gag they use over and over
yeah,
again.
they love that. I saw. I don't remember this as much because we watched these episodes a little while ago. Who are trying to fuse with the Ox King? Lol. Was that like a joke in there? I guess. Like I'm putting that in there. Like the cat. Like I assume they made a joke about that or something like that. Maybe because of size difference. But yeah, and the episode ends with Okai doing the ritual to
Doing
Gohan.
the
Now,
dance around him. Don't
no,
forget, Goku just promised a date with Bulma.
yeah,
Um,
I just Toyama.
roasting
Why?
him.
I mean, I just don't get Toyama's like. I don't know why he loves this kind of stuff. Now, Chi Chi, his own freaking wife. I'm not saying she should do
Yeah,
that, but like, he didn't
true.
even make an
His
offer. Or
wife.
Vidal, who's like, 50,
Yeah.
actually in the age of like being single and young. He's like, let's go with Boma, some 50-year-old woman who's
True.
married to my best friend. Let's move on to the next
All
next
right, we're on
episode.
episode 251, which is now we're getting into still Majin Buu saga, but the fusion happens for the first time,
Yeah,
and we get Gotenks, which is basically just fat humor, I guess.
yeah, yeah. Oh, oh, oh. And then we get the old man go tense, which only happens
Yeah.
once, by the way. Oh,
Yeah.
someone could
They
correct me.
both.
Maybe it happens in another
I
special.
guess. Oh no, you're right. I guess because in the movie you get fat Gotenks another time.
Exactly. So that's what I mean is that normally because he also goes fat in if you guys remember that special from years ago. It's a Goku and friends return and where Vegeta's brother comes and they do fuse and they become fat as well. I don't think they become old. But someone correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that's the only time
I
they
think.
become old.
Yeah, the first time it's also introducing the concept that like they have to wait 30 minutes after fusion. That's actually the first time we hear that, I think. So
Yeah.
that makes sense. The second one, yeah, I don't know. I guess then it's like, oh, it has to be perfect. And then the third time, they're really cocky.
Isn't it saying that in the movie, like the Broly movie, they just have to skip over that? Like literally for an hour,
Yeah.
Frieza and Whis are distracting Broly for over an hour because they just have to wait for the fusion to happen again. Like kind of ridiculous. Like it's a dumb rule. Just let them redo. Who can why it's the same thing. Remember the time chamber? You can only
Yeah.
go in twice. Now it doesn't matter. You can go as many.
Yeah.
Stop making these arbitrary rules if you're gonna just give up on them because later on it's way more convenient just to let them do it. Just let people like I don't know. It's a weird rule. But the whole fusion thing is like we'll get into it too. It's just whatever. I do like Gotenks. I do like him for these like 5 seconds we get him in the show. But like also at the same time, we barely get this character. Like we're only gonna get this character for like snippets.
Yeah.
and it's really not that much. I do like this fight though. I want to go into the Boo versus
I forgot he even meets Boo here. I
Yeah, I
really don't
actually did as
remember.
well that they actually fought. And it's a cool fight, the shipyard. I actually feel like if they ever remade either anime wise or a movie, this is a good set piece. Like it's actually an interesting set piece where
Yeah.
they fight Boo. And
And
I
then
will give them credit for this. I actually did like this kind of like fight. It's also a short fight. I'm down for short, just quick, fun fights. You don't need to have every fight going on like 80 minutes. Like I think that we have enough, especially if it's not going to be the end fight, which this was not going to be. I think this was a perfectly good, like,
I think
hey,
it makes an interesting argument though, because like I mean, we know the series really well. We know
yeah,
that the big fight against Fat Boo is Vegeta. That's the
yeah,
fight, right? And then there's a little one with Goku Super Saiyan 3. But when you think of Fat Boo, you think of the Vegeta fight. Then you think about Super Boo and Gohan and Gotenks. But you
yeah.
don't really ever, I mean, this would change everything if Gotenks actually learned Super Saiyan and
Yep.
invested time and then went and fought original Boo, Fat Boo.
You know, I
That would be a
want
very interesting fight. He debatably would have a better chance Super Saiyan against this Boo than Super Saiyan 3 against Super Boo.
That's true, but I think it's also about energy. Like I feel like he would still have to do an energy attack, and then he would need the ghost attack. At the very least, he would need the ghost attack, and that doesn't even work on Super Boo. So who even knows if it would work on Fat Boo? So that's the thing that they're kind of forgetting is that doing this fusion. I think Piccolo. The one thing I will give Piccolo crap on is they forget it's not just about the power level. There needs to be a way to get the power out of you at such a rate and power that destroys them. Similar to Cell, how Gohan defeats Cell.
All right, episode 252.
Yeah, let's do it. Piccolo tells Trunks and Gotenks you have a plan.
We kind of step
Piccolo,
away from that, right? Like they go into their own world, and now it's Boo protagonist focus.
yeah.
And
Now we're going
things
to
have instantly become apocalyptic. Like I don't know how so quickly
yeah,
people are living in tents and listening to reports that Mr. Satan is going to save everyone. Like that's
yeah,
a pretty big mood shift.
yeah. No, it's definitely not the opposite of the Android, but it feels like the Android saga took years before people knew. I guess here's the difference: the androids were not making their presence known; they were just going to towns and destroying them. So that had to be word because I mean, imagine saying this. There's this guy in a bandana and his blonde sister, and there's blowing up cities. Like, okay, sure. Like, no, I'm not joking. They're blowing like this. Everyone saw Boo's destruction, so I think that is, and I think you agree on this on the level of psychological stuff there. I think humans, when they have a more visual of the damage and horrors happening, it can motivate people in a different way. And I
Mhm.
think the difference too is they were talking about how it's going to be. It's kind of like King Piccolo back in the day as well. Like random cities are going to be destroyed just constantly. And so I feel like that might be the only difference is like, yeah, people really need a hero quick.
But he has a known home. He has like a
Yeah.
like he has a base. So yeah, so Mr. Hercule Satan goes over there and gets really scared, and they got some nice little gags there with the poison.
Yeah, he bringing over the video game systems and like stuff like that. Well, like it is funny because Mr. Sane, I think, is always an entertaining character before this point. But this is where they give him the heart, is in the saga. This is where we start seeing more of him as a person. Normally, Goku, right, is the one, or whoever it is the one that like, changes the mind. And in a way, Goku kind of did because he told Boo in the last couple episodes, hey, I think you could do better on your own. You don't need this Bobbity guy. But like this is one of the first times where we see a non-Z file affecting an enemy. We just don't have that Frieza or Cell or like Raditz or any of the other characters that have come before. Normally it's Goku or one of the Z files that has to. And normally it's Goku, like with Tien, Yamcha. All these characters become better people because of Goku and their like rivalry with him. And in this case, it's actually not. It's Mr. Saiyan, which actually is kind of cool that he builds a bond with this character. Do you like the
Mr.
fact that
Satan's goal is not to change him. I guess that's the irony.
yeah,
His goal is to kill him, and then when he can't, take a picture of
yeah,
that looks like he killed him, stepping on him, right? Of
yeah,
conquered him. And then
yeah,
he's so afraid of him that it just kind of continues, but does not have the heroic morality that Goku does.
yeah, that's very true.
Meanwhile, the ritual finishes, and we're all excited, and then we're told that Gohan has to wait forever.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, that's what, like I said, they just had a time clock go on, go on, and that's it. So,
200 episode 253 is the last episode of the Buu saga, and this is Gotenks forms, and now he's Super Saiyan, and he flies off again
yep,
out of control. So
yep,
I guess that's a I think there's maybe a metaphor here somewhere of
yeah,
Boo is chaotic neutral, unleashed, right? He's not necessarily evil, but Bobbity made him evil. Gotenks is like chaotic good because he's
maybe.
evil. He's like youth unleashed.
I think I was gonna say he's also youth unleashed. Of like they heard stories of their dad and they got all the wrong lessons from those stories. They Super Saiyan with no effort, which took Goku years of training. And
Totally.
Yeah, it's just.
But that's what Boo is too. I think. I don't think Boo put a lot of effort into it. I don't think there's much. And
Sure.
I was gonna say, Kid Boo is like chaotic evil. So none of them really have great motivation for what they do. They're just like, basically their mentality is kind of preordained to them. So.
And then we get to the true villain of this arc, the Hunter. This Hunter guy comes up and basically just shoots the dog.
What nationality is the Hunter? Do you recall?
Is it Australian or what is
Australian? They're always causing trouble in this series.
This guy is just a ridiculous villain that like just shows up for no reason, just to make Boo evil. Like, where is this character? What is this character? This has never happened. Could you imagine? Yeah. Imagine Frieza landing and it's gotta be it's target practice time, and he's got Frieza.
Well, and I think it's Boo's actions have consequences.
Why is his friend there? His friend doesn't even want to be a part of this at all. Why is his friend there at all? Like he's just there because like.
But I think I think the moral is that Boo's good, but now Boo doing all these bad things, it's still.
Also, he's there, I think, somewhat for the reward and fame. But you're like, dude.
Yeah.
If a gun could kill this guy, would anyone be able to get this reward? Like, what an idiot. But yeah, so he shoots the dog. Boo kind of loses his cool.
It really leaves it is a good cliffhanger, I think, for this saga. Again, going back, Gotenks, Super Saiyan Gotenks got to Boo and was ready to fight Boo before all of this in this episode, right? But then it wears off. That's a great what if. That should like be a new what if in the series. Like Super Saiyan Gotenks versus Fat Boo, I feel like would have won.
That would be cool. I would like to see the what if, because I feel like in some case, if Gotenks does have this power, like some sort of powerful attack, then Final Flash Kamehameha wave, maybe that could destroy him. But I don't know if he has an attack like that, because we don't know, because they don't show us enough to know if he's been learning these techniques or if it's later on in the time chamber where he learns these techniques. We just don't have enough information.
Yes, fair. Yeah. All right. Well, that's an episode. Thanks, everybody. Hope you like the Boo saga.
Yeah. We'll be back with Fusion. We're so excited to talk about it.